Good morning, dear students. Welcome in social science class. Dear students, we have already started a new chapter, that is colonialism, rural and tribal societies, where we have discussed three major settlements: agrarian settlements, where permanent settlement was there, Rohitwari settlements were there, and Mahalwari settlements were there, and even the condition of farmers also we have discussed. Now the next topic we have colonialism and tribal societies, and we will see how the farmers of Indian areas were discriminated and exploited by the Britishers, or especially by the East India Company. The profitable exploitation of peasants made the British greedier because they were forcing Indian farmers to grow different kind of crops which was of their benefit. Their next target was the tribals of India who lived in deep forests and led a life of self-sufficiency. Now, slowly and gradually, they want to control over the forest people, or especially the tribal communities, to cover up their areas. Their traditional economy was built around forest. They firmly believed that the forest belonged to them and they belonged to the forest. This was the idea and point of view of the tribal communities, that we are only meant for the forest, but the Britishers, they have taken advantage of those areas as well. Most tribals like the Khans of Odisha practice shifting cultivation. Shifting cultivation means when the fertility of the soil reduces, then the piece of land will be shifted in the next area for the cultivation. Many tribal groups like One Gujars of Himalayas, JNK, Gaddis of Kulu, Himachal Pradesh, etc. lived by herding and rearing of animals. Among us, the Mundas of Chota Nagpur, the land belonged to the clan as a whole, and all members have equal rights on the land. It was a belief of the people that who belongs to the specific areas having equal rights on their piece of land, but that advantage was taken, or the facilities was taken by the Britishers. Impact on the tribal life. What was the impact on tribal life after the emergence of the British rule? The chief lost all power and were forced to follow the laws made by British officers in India. Different rules and regulations were imposed on the Indian farmers as well as the tribal communities. But the Britishers did not want shifting cultivation because it was difficult to control the movement of tribals, and it was difficult to control over them as well, because when they move one place to another, it was quite difficult where to keep check on them. But the tribals want to continue shifting cultivation just because for the sake of their livelihood. The changes made in the forest laws by the British made the tribal life very difficult. Most of the forests were declared as the state property over there, especially the reserved forests which produce timber, and the people especially belongs to the tribal communities, and the farmers were not allowed to collect timber from these forest areas uh, after they converted into reserved areas. Many tribals had to move to other areas in search of livelihood, created a shortage of laborers to cut trees for the railway sleepers and to transport logs. And what happened later on? The farmers were not aware about their rights, and they were just uh, when the tribals decided to move in the different areas, it was created problem to the Britishers, that who will cut the logs for the railways and for the benefit of their. During the 19th century, when the demand for the forest produce increased, the traders and the money lenders took advantage of the situation. They went to the tribals and offered them cash loans. They also asked them to work for wages. It led to the further misery of tribals because it was quite difficult to work according to their demands. Let us take the case of the Santals of Hazaribagh, Jharkhand and West Bengal, who reared silicon for the production of cocoons, that is the insects which produces silk. When the demand for Indian silk increased, efforts were made encourage silk production. The traders, their agents, and many middlemen approached growth, the grower. They gave them cash loans and collected cocoons from them. You will be surprised to know that they just gave them cash loans and collected cocoons from them. You will be surprised to know that they just paid rupees 3 for 1,000 cocoons. That was quite less for their efforts. But on the other hand, they were just selling those cocoons at very high prices, 5 times more in the different markets. So it was quite less wages or less benefit for the Indian farmers as well as the producers. When the tribal groups came to know of the reality, they were shocked and started considering the traders as their enemy because they were not giving the profitable amount of their produce. Many tribals had to leave their forest home in search of work because now they were not allowed to do work in the specific areas. Even the shifting agriculture was not able to allow. Even they were not allowed to collect timber from the forest areas. So they were not able to do work properly for their own needs. A large number of them were recruited through contractors to work in a tea plantation in far off areas of Assam, but on the other hand, they were not allowed to come back to their houses and their home, and the wages were also quite less. The plight of the coal mine workers was no miserable. The others, those who were the coal miners, their condition was also not so good. Many tribals were also recruited in factories and fields to work under very harsh conditions. So in total, what we will see, the colonialism system was worst among the tribal communities, even on the farmers as well as the other workers. So this was all about, you just read this topic also and cover up previous topics also. So next we will continue in the next class, tribal revolts as well as the map work. Thank you.